Welcome to Deep Links, the podcast where we dive deep into the stuff that actually matters. Today, we're tackling something everyone deals with but no one seems to master: habits. Yeah, we're talking about that crap you do every day without even thinking about it. The good, the bad, and the downright ugly. Maybe you bite your nails until they look like you've been playing guitar with sandpaper, or maybe you've been trying to get off your ass and hit the gym for the last, I don't know, 10 years. Well, today, we're going to talk about how to make that change. Now, let's get one thing straight: habits are not rocket science. We're not talking about brain surgery here. It's just repetitive behavior, for better or worse. But let's face it, most people suck at breaking bad habits and building good ones. And you know why? Because they're lazy. That's right, I said it. Lazy. If you're listening to this and thinking, but I'm not lazy, well, then why are you still stuck with the same shitty habits you've had since high school? Let's cut the crap. If you really wanted to change, you'd have done it by now. But you didn't, so here we are. So, why do we have these habits in the first place? Our brains are wired to find shortcuts. The human brain loves routines. It's like, oh, you want me to put in less effort? Sweet, I'll just go on autopilot. Habits are just your brain's way of saving energy. And let's be honest, your brain is a lazy bastard. It doesn't care if the habit is good or bad, it just wants to make things easier. That's why, if you smoke, you're lighting up without even thinking about it. If you're an emotional eater, you've probably got your face in a bag of chips before you even realize you're sad. But here's the kicker: you're not just your habits. You're the idiot who chose them in the first place. Yeah, that's right. You made your bed, now you're lying in it. And that bed? Probably covered in crumbs and regret. The good news? You can change. The bad news? It's not gonna happen overnight, and it's not gonna be easy. Sorry, there's no magical self-help bullshit here. So, how do we form habits? Let's break this down into simple terms so even your dog could understand. It all starts with a cue. Something triggers your brain to go into autopilot. Then there's the routine, which is the actual behavior, and finally, the reward. Your brain loves rewards. Whether it's a cigarette, a cookie, or a shot of tequila, your brain's like, hell yeah, let's do that again. And then the cycle repeats. Over and over. Until you're stuck in this endless loop of doing things that may or may not be good for you. Now let's flip this around. Let's say you want to form a good habit. Everyone wants to get up early, hit the gym, eat kale, meditate, save money, call their mother, and adopt a dog from the shelter, all before breakfast. But what do they do instead? They hit snooze 37 times, binge watch Netflix until 3 a.m., and then wonder why their life is a dumpster fire. Well, let me tell you something: you can't just decide to be a different person tomorrow and expect it to stick. Building good habits takes effort, consistency, and a bit of a spine. Think of it like this: you're building a muscle. And let's be clear, most of you out there have muscles like wet noodles when it comes to self-discipline. You can't just do a couple of push-ups and expect to have the biceps of a Greek god. You've got to show up every day, even when you don't feel like it. Especially when you don't feel like it. Habits are the same. They require commitment. And most people can't even commit to a Netflix series without bailing halfway through. So, how do you actually break a bad habit? Here's a hint: it ain't by pretending it doesn't exist. First, you've got to acknowledge that you're doing it. If you're in denial, you might as well just give up now. But once you've identified the habit, figure out the cue. What's triggering this behavior? Is it stress? Boredom? Hunger? Loneliness? Or maybe just pure unfiltered stupidity? Find the cue, and you've got a shot at breaking the cycle. Now, replace the bad routine with a good one. Yeah, you heard me right. Swap that cigarette with a piece of gum. Swap that third beer with a glass of water. Swap that 2-hour Instagram scroll with a book or, God forbid, a conversation with another human being. It's about substitution, not elimination. If you try to just cut the bad stuff out, your brain will rebel like a teenager who just found out their curfew is 9 p.m. And don't forget the reward part. Give yourself a reward that's not as destructive as the habit you're trying to break. Celebrate your wins. You didn't eat that entire pizza? Great, maybe treat yourself to a nice coffee or a pat on the back. Don't go rewarding yourself with another pizza, though. That's just shooting yourself in the foot. Use your common sense, if you have any. Another thing to remember, you're going to screw up. You're going to fail. You're going to eat that donut, smoke that cigarette, miss that workout. And you know what? That's fine. No one's perfect. Except maybe that one guy on Instagram who only eats kale and can do one-arm pull-ups, but he's probably lying about half his life anyway. The important thing is not to throw in the towel the moment you slip up. A lot of people fail once and think, well, that's it, I guess I'm destined to be a fat, lazy slob forever. No, you're not. Get back up. Brush yourself off. And try again. Now, let's talk about self-discipline for a second. You know, that thing everyone says they have, but no one actually does? Self-discipline is just doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. And newsflash, most people don't feel like doing anything that requires effort. If you think about it, half the time you're waiting for motivation to strike, like it's some mystical force that will suddenly make you want to run a marathon or write a novel. But motivation is a flake. It's like that friend who says they're going to meet you at the bar at 8 but doesn't show up until 11. You can't rely on it. So, what do? You build self-discipline. You show up. Every day. No excuses. Rain or shine, tired or not, motivated or not. You do the damn work. Because that's what separates the people who actually achieve their goals from those who just talk about them. And yeah, sometimes you're gonna have to drag your sorry ass out of bed and force yourself to do things you don't want to do. Welcome to life. And let's be honest here, if you can't muster up the self-discipline to go to the gym, or eat a vegetable, or do anything remotely good for yourself, then maybe you don't deserve to reach your goals. Yeah, I said it. You have to earn that success. It's not gonna be handed to you on a silver platter with a side of fries. If you want to change, if you really want it, you'll do what it takes. You'll stop making excuses, you'll stop blaming everyone else, and you'll get to work. So there you have it. Habit formation, breaking bad habits, and the cold, hard truth about self-discipline. It's not glamorous. It's not easy. But it's necessary if you want to live a life that doesn't suck. And if you don't, well, you can always just keep doing what you're doing and see where that gets you. Alright, that's it for today's episode of Deep Links. If you got something out of this, or if I just pissed you off a little bit, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and maybe even share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because let's face it, we all know at least one person who's stuck in their ways and needs a little tough love. Thanks for listening, and remember, if you want to make a change, no one's gonna do it for you but you.